M.O. the math teacher from Massachusetts. I hate math, Dad. Why, son, what happened? Was math mean to you? What? No. Wait, how can math be mean to me, Dad? But no, that is not why I hate math. Then why do you hate it, son? Because I cannot solve problems, Dad. Problems like what? Like adding or subtracting numbers, multiplication, division. Why do we need to know all of this, Dad? Because numbers are all around us, son. We need to know how to count, and math is all about counting things. I can count things, Dad. How many eyes do I have? 2. How many noses do you have? 1. How many ears does Mom have? 2. You see, Dad, I can count just fine. You got the numbers right, son. So how many hairs does your eyebrows have? I don't know, Dad. 1,000,000? Probably you'd look like a bear if you had that many eyebrow hairs, son. But why do we care about how many hairs do my eyebrows have, Dad? We don't, son. Maybe doctors care, and not everyone has the same number, but I wanted to mention something that is more than one or two things like eyes and noses. We use numbers all the time. The school needs to know how old you are, so they put you in the right class. Your age is a number. Also, the school where I work as a math teacher needs to know numbers, so they pay me at the end of the month, and I can buy things for you and the family. I need to know how many students I have in my class, so I can prepare. The doctor needs to know how tall you are, and how much you weigh to make sure you are growing healthy. Drivers need to know the speed limit, which is a number, so they obey the law and not fly at low altitude down the highway. Clothing companies need to know how many yards of garment to buy so they can make clothes. You tell me how many toasts you want in the morning, so I can make them for you for breakfast. We use numbers all the time, son, so we need to learn math. But Dad, if math was just counting things like that, it is very easy. Do I need to learn math to tell you I need 2 pieces of toast for breakfast? No, son. If life was about how many toast bread pieces you want for breakfast, we certainly don't need math. Besides, you can only eat so much bread anyway. How about your shirt? Does it have dimensions like length and width? Yes, Dad. Why is that important? Because the company that made the shirt needs to know the shirt size it should make that will fit you, and fit people older and younger than you. You were size 8, older kids were size 9 or 10, it just depends on their size. So, the company needs to measure the cloth it uses to make shirts. Okay, Dad. I understand counting is important. But what about adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing? Again, son, it's all about counting. Addition is about adding numbers, like 6 plus 3, which is 9. Subtracting is about taking a number from another, like 9 minus 3, which is 6. Multiplying and dividing are shortcuts for adding and subtracting. Instead of saying how much 3 plus 3 is, we just say how much is 3 times 3, which is 9. Dividing is a shortcut for subtracting. Instead of saying how much is 9 minus 3, which is 3, we just say how much is 9 divided by 3, which is 3. You see, Dad, these numbers that don't mean anything is what I don't understand. What is 3 and 9? Oh, I see your point, son. Numbers usually don't exist in a vacuum. I mean, we don't just mention numbers that don't mean anything. Usually numbers describe something, like how many apples are in a bag. Let's say you have a bag that has 9 apples. You want to give me, your mom, and your sister an equal number of apples. How many apples each one of us gets? I give you 3 apples, so I have 6 left. Then I give Mom 3 apples, and I have 3 left, which I give them to Mindy, so each will get 3 apples. You see, son, you just did division and subtraction at the same time. When you gave your mom 3 apples from the 9 in the bag, you subtracted 3 from 9, then subtracted another 3 to give to Mindy. Another way to do it is to say 9/3, or in words, 9 divided by 3, Or in Apple Talk, 9 apples divided by 3 people, and each one gets 3 apples. So why don't we use real things like apples and oranges when we talk about numbers, Dad? Why do we use just numbers like 581 minus 349? Good question, son. We can always say these are apples, marbles, tires, or anything else you like. We usually assume numbers represent something in real life, and they usually do. So, the number 349 you mentioned could be the number of houses that were sold in a neighborhood out of 581 houses in total. Real estate agents want to know that fact, so they tell their clients there are fewer houses on the market, which means house prices will go up. How many houses are left for sale in that neighborhood? Let me do the math, Dad. 581 minus 349 is equal to 232 houses. Now I understand. It makes more sense when I am thinking about real things and not just numbers. Sure, son. You can think in any way you like that makes you understand things better. Let me give you another example. How much is 34 minus 2? 32, Dad, but what are these numbers? 34 is the length of the pants I got as a birthday gift. I think it needs to be shortened by 2 inches, so I have to tell the tailor to cut or subtract 2 inches from the total pants length of 34 inches. Things are not always whole, son. If I have an apple and I want to divide it between you and Mindy, how many apples do each of you get? You have only 1 apple, Dad, so each of us gets half an apple. Exactly, son. This is called a fraction, or part of a whole. Half a pizza, half an apple, half $1, and so on. How many days in a week? 7, Dad. These are whole numbers, son. A day is divided into 24 hours, which is also a whole number. But a quarter of an hour is a fraction. Time confuses me, Dad. I know, son. There are analog clocks and digital clocks. There are even sundials. Sundials, Dad? Yes, son. That is how humans calculated time before the modern clocks were invented. A small triangle or stick stands in a circle with markers in a sunny area, and as the sun moves, the stick shade moves with it, and people can tell the time that way. And what happens during the night, and when it is cloudy, Dad? During the night people were sleeping, and I don't know, probably when it was cloudy, they took the day off as a holiday. I wish I had lived at that time, Dad. The whole winter would have been a big holiday. Yeah, but do you want to hunt your food? Hunt? Why, Dad? Didn't they have grocery stores at that time? No, son. To eat during that time, you had to hunt or gather your food. Also, no TV, no computers, no nice heating or cooling like you have now. Okay, Dad, I get it. I guess I just like holidays. Don't we all, son, don't we all? So going back to math, time, and numbers, you will become really good at them if you practice. Heard of the phrase practice makes perfect? Yes, Dad, I did. So, I just keep adding, multiplying, dividing, and subtracting numbers? Yes, son. That is the only way to be good at math. It is the only way to be good at anything. Our brains are like our muscles. The more you practice something, the better you get at it. Do you want to become a fast racetrack runner? Practice with your friends or team at school. Do you want to learn how to make nice sketches and color them? Practice with paper and colors. Why are you so good at computer games? Because I play a lot, Dad. Exactly, son. You spend time in front of your computer playing computer games and repeating the same game again and again until you become great at. Math is just like that. To be good at it, just practice. If you don't understand a problem, ask the teacher or ask me or your mom here at home. We are always here to help. But computer games are fun, Dad. Math is boring. 371 to 258 is not as fun as driving my virtual car, or defeating the evil monster, or getting to the next level and finding the hidden treasure. You are right, son. However, did you know how all these games were made? No, Dad. How were they made? Your computer, the monitor you use to see your game, the game itself, everything you use was built using math. Really, Dad? How? The computer you use has physical dimensions, like length, width, and height. It has a lot of components inside, and all of them work because computer engineers design them using math. The games you play use math to calculate your score and take you to the next level when you win. Many of these games are timed, which uses math to end the game when time is up. Math is all around us, son. We just need to realize that and use it to make new and better things. I didn't know math was used in my games and my computer, Dad. I want to pay more attention to math. It is very important, son. Everybody uses math every day. Math is easy and fun. We just need to learn it. That evening Mo had a dream. Next morning, he woke his dad up to tell him what he saw. Dad, I had a dream last night. Good morning, son. What was your dream about? I learned a lot of math, Dad. I practiced and became really good at it. I became a math teacher like you. I was helping students in class understand math and how easy it is to solve problems. Great, son. Math is easy when you understand it. What else do you remember? I was so good at math that I was able to do math problems without paper and pencil, even without a calculator. Amazing, son. So you practice while dreaming? That's a step forward. I want to do more math problems, Dad. Can you give me more? Sure, son. How about we have breakfast first? Let's go, Dad. I can't wait to do math.